Of genetics. Gregor Mendel, the lifespan is 1822 to 1884. He is the Gregor Mendel, and he is the responsible for the laws governing the inheritance of the traits. The traits which are coming from the parents to offspring, and the explanation about these traits which are coming to parents to offspring was given by the Gregor Mendel. He is the great scientist in genetics. He has discovered many things and given the law of inheritance. He is the Australian. Here he has studied the inheritance of the traits in pea plant. He has used the pea plant as a model plant, and he has also developed the laws of inheritance. Mendel's work was not recognized until the turn of the 20th century, but after 20th century people feel that Mendel has already done so much good work, and he was appreciated by the people, and he has given the work. He has given the law of inheritance. Between 1856 and 1863, Mendel cultivated and tested some of the 28,000 of the pea plants, and among them he has concluded many laws, and he has already finally given the law of inheritance. He found that the plant's offspring retain the traits of the parents. It means that some characteristics or some traits which are coming from the parents to offspring, and these traits and these characteristics are explained by the Gregor Mendel, and he has honored as, or he has called as, the father of genetics. This is the site of the Gregor Mendel's experimental garden. Mendel started the physical traits are inherited as the particles, and Mendel did not know that these particles are actually the chromosome or DNA. He has given the name of this particle as a particle, but then he know that this is the chromosome and this is the DNA, not the particles. So this is the structure of the chromosome. Trait: any characteristics that can be passed from parents to offspring, it is known as the trait. Heredity: passing of the traits from parent to offspring, it is known as the heredity. It means that the trait which are passing from parents to offspring, this is known as the characteristics, and the heredity which confirm that the characteristics is coming from parents to offsprings. Genetics means that the study of the heredity is known as the genetics. There are two types of the crosses. One is the monohybrid cross and other is the dihybrid cross. Monohybrid cross involve the single trait, such as the example is the flower color, and the dihybrid cross, it involves the two traits. Example is the flower color and the plant height. It may be any of the characteristics, such as the shape of the plant, then the color of the plant, then the color of the hair. Any of the characteristics can be included into the trait, and we can study all the characteristics by studying the Mendelian inheritance law. These characteristics can be studied by the Punnett square. It is used to help solve the genetic problems. This is the Punnett square. Here you can see that these are the characteristics PP. These are two the female gametes, and these two are the male gametes. It means that one gamete from the female and one gamete from the male, it will become into the offspring. That is the Punnett square. Here, how to make the Punnett square? Punnett square, it allows the genetist to predict the possible genotype and phenotype of the offspring. In this example, both parents are heterozygotes. What is heterozygote? Heterozygote means the two genotype or two gametes present into the one parent is the different. One is the dominant and other is the recessive. Here, first make one grid. Place the allele of the gametes on one parent along the top of the grid, and the other parent along the left hand of the side. These are the male gamete and other parent 1, gametes of the parent 1, and these are the gametes of the parent 2. Then second step, combine the parent allele inside the box. The later show the genotype of the offspring. One gamete will become from one parent and other gamete will become from the other parent, and this will make the genotype of the offspring. And third step, that of the Punnett square, is use the law of dominance to determine the phenotype and phenotype ratio of the offspring. It means that one parent will be dominant and other parent will be recessive, then only the dominant parent will be come into the phenotype, and if both are recessive, then recessive gamete will be come into the phenotype. If dominant is present, then recessive will never come into the phenotype. Allele, what are the allele? two forms of the gene, one is the dominant and other is the recessive, is known as the allele. What is dominant gene? Stronger of the two gene expressed into the hybrid, and they are represented by the capital letter. So the two gene present into the one parent, one is the strong and other is the weak. Among them the strong gene is known as the dominant gene and the weak gene which is known as the recessive gene. Here you can see gene that shows from less often in the cross is represented by a small letter, and it is the recessive gene. It is the weaker gene. So it will be not expressed if the dominant gene is present. If dominant gene is not present, then only the recessive gene will be expressed. If we want to study some more terminology, genotype, gene combination for a trait such as example of the RR. These two are the capital. So both are dominant. Capital R, small r, one is dominant, one is recessive, and small r, both are recessive. So these two genes present into the pair is known as the genotype. Then the phenotype. The genotype will be expressed into the offspring, it is known as the phenotype. Genetic structure of the offspring is known as the genotype, and the genetic structure will be expressed in form of the characteristics, then it is known as the phenotype. The physical feature resulting from the genotype is known as the phenotype. Suppose RR is the red, capital R, small r, here R is the dominant gene. So the color will be red, and the small r, these both are the recessive gene. The color will be not red. It may be small r represent, suppose small r represent the color green, then the phenotype will be green color. Here you can see that capital R is for the red flower and small r is for the yellow flower. So all gene occur into the pair. We know that it is known as the allele. So we can find the possible combination. Genotype is the capital R, small r, and small r. This type of the combination can be occurred into the offspring. So phenotype will be capital R, it will be red, capital R, small r, it will be red, and small r. Here you can see that there is no presence of the dominant gene. So the color will be yellow. So what is homozygous gene and what is the heterozygote gene? Homozygous gene, if the two combination of the gene is the same type, suppose two are dominant, two are recessive, both genes are dominant, both genes are recessive, so both are the same, then it is known as the homozygote. And heterozygote, the both genes present into the combination are different, then it is known as the heterozygote. So you can see that capital and a small r, this is the capital which is responsible for the red color, this is small which is responsible for the yellow color. So both characteristics are different, that is known as the heterozygote. Here both characteristics are similar, capital R and capital R, both are responsible for the red color. Small r, both are responsible for the yellow color. So it is known as the homozygote. Here this is the garden of the Mendelian, and he has studied all the experiments into this garden. This is the Mendel's pea plant on which he has done all the inheritable experiments. Why he has taken the pea plant, Pisum sativum? Because they can grow into the small area, it can produce lots of offspring, it can produce pure plant when allowed to self-pollinate, and it can also produce the several generation and can be artificially cross-pollinated. Because of this, so much of the reason Mendel have choose the pea plant for his study. Now pollen contains sperms produced by the stamen, ovary contains eggs found inside the flower. Here you can see that this is the pistil, this is the ovary, and these are the stamens. This pollen carries sperm to the eggs for fertilization. Self-fertilization can occur in the same flower, and the cross-fertilization can be occur between the different flowers. Mendel hand-pollinated some flowers using the paintbrush. Then he could snip the stamen to prevent the self-pollination and cover each flowers with the cloth bag. Then he traced the trait through the several generations. So he had selected some flowers and pollinated them, and he has studied these flowers with several generations. He has done several generations and then he has studied it. These are the structure of the female stigma, ovary, and this is the process of the self-pollination. Here you can see some seeds into the ovary, and the third step is the first step is the self pollination by fertilization, and then the germination occurs and seeds produce. Here we will study the which type of the or which color of the seeds, types of the seeds and the shapes of the seeds. Different types, color and shapes of the seeds will be produced, and reason for this production will be explained by the Mendel. Mendel produced pure strains by allowing the plants to self pollinate it for several generations. Here these are some characteristics which are studied by the Mendel, such as the seed shape, seed color, pod shape such as the smooth or the wrinkle, pod color green, it may be green or it may be yellow, coat color, flower position such as the axial or it may be terminal, height of the plant, some plant may be tall, some plant may be short. So why some plants are tall and why some plants are short? These are the problems they are solved by the Mendels. Flower color, some flowers were originated purple color, some flowers were originated white color. So why this color will be produced? This all characteristics are explained by the Mendel. These are the some dominant marks such as the seed shape, smooth strip, wrinkled, seed color yellow, it may be green. So here you can see the inflected pod shape and wrinkled pod shape. Here you can see the pod color green, it may be, pod color may be yellow color. Then flower color, it may be purple color, it may be white color. Then the flower position, it may be on the stem, it may be on the tip. Then the stem length, it may be tall, it may be short. These are some dominant, these characteristics, each and every characteristics contain one dominant gene and one recessive gene. So here you can see that this is the dominant trait and this is the recessive trait, and these are the results obtained by the Mendel after several experiments. This is the smooth seed, it's the dominant, and the wrinkled seed, it is the recessive, and the Mendel found the ratio of the 2.96:1. It means that 2.96 of the total flowers or total seeds produced, 2.96 were smooth seed and only one seed has the wrinkled seeds. Here are the some results of the Mendel's experiment, such as the green pod is the dominant trait and yellow pod is the recessive trait. Then the purple flower is the dominant trait and the white flower is the recessive trait. Here the Mendel got the result is the 3.14:1. It means that here you can see that he has got the ratio that is around 3:1. All the ratio is around 3:1. Here you can see that these are the 3:1 ratio. Now these results are the practical result, but what are the theoretical result? If practical results are matched with the theoretical result, the theoretical expected ratio for the plants producing round or wrinkled seeds, it should be 3:1. It means that three plants should be round and one plant should be wrinkled. So Mendel observed the ratio, it was 2.96:1. It means that it is closer to the 3:1. So this difference is because of the statistical error. So larger the sample, the more nearly the result approximately to the theoretical value. Because if we will do so much experiment, then the error will be nullified and we will be close nearer to the theoretical ratio. Here you can see that parent 1, the parent generation is breeding experiment. Then F1 generation, that is the offspring of the parent generation, is known as the F1 generation. The first generation offspring in the breeding experiment, and it is from the individuals from the P1 generation, and F2 generation is the second generation offspring in the breeding experiment. So this is the parent, this is the first generation, and here it is the second generation. So first generation is known as the F1 and the second generation is known as the F2. Here you can see that this is the parent generation, one is the tall plant, another is the short plant. Then F1 generation, both will be, all the progeny will be tall. Though they are having the dominant gene, they are also having the recessive gene, but all plant will be tall. If we do the breeding between the first generation, that is the F1 multiplied by F1, then we will get the F2 generation. But here in F2 generation, we can see that 3 plants are tall and 1 is the short. It means that the ratio is the 3:1. Here you can see the results, that is the capital T into small t. This is the tall plant, 1 is the short plant. Now results in all hybrids, that is in F1 generation, all will be capital T, small t. See, this is the dominant gene, 1 is the recessive gene, but the phenotype will be tall for all F1 generation. And here you can see that cross 2 hybrid, that is the F1 multiplied by F1. So you can see that 3 plants are tall and 1 is the short. Capital T, that is tall, capital T, small t, they will be tall, and small t, then they will be short plants. So these are the different examples. Here you can see that the capital R, that is the round seed, and small r, that is for the wrinkled seeds. So here we can cross over the capital R, that is for one parent, small r, that is for second parent. So here you can see that this is the F1 generation, capital R, small r, capital R, small r, capital R, small r, and capital R, small r. So here we can solve the problem by using the Punnett square. And all F1 generation, all are contain the capital R, that is the dominant gene. All contain the small r, that is the recessive gene. Dominant is for the round and recessive for the wrinkled seeds. But all will be round. Why? Why all the seeds will be round? Because all the seeds contain the dominant gene. If dominant gene is present, then recessive gene will not be expressed. So here you can see the genotype is the capital R, small r, phenotype is round. Genotypic ratio, all will be alike, all will be round, and phenotypic ratio, all will be alike, that is all will be round. So what is homozygote? Homozygote dominant and to the homozygote recessive, offspring will be all the homozygote, and offspring called the F1 generation. All will be round, that is the F1 generation. Here you can see that now the breeding or crossing between the F1 generation, capital R, small r, multiply by capital R, small r. Here you can see that that is the one parent, it is the another parent, and you can see the offspring of the second generation. Capital R, they will be round, capital R, small r, they will be round, capital R, small r, they will be also round. So ratio will be 3:1 because small r will be wrinkled. So ratio is equal to 3:1. Genotypic ratio, 3 type of the genotypic ratio. Then phenotypic ratio, 3 will be round, 1 is the wrinkled. So genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Here you can see that 1 is capital R, 2 is the capital R, small r, and 1, this is the small r. And the phenotypic ratio will be 3:1. 3 will be. Now you can see the heterozygote into heterozygote. The offspring will be 25% homozygote dominant, 50% heterozygote, and 25% homozygote recessive. So this offspring, they are known as the F2 generation, and the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, and phenotypic ratio is equal to 3:1. So here you can see the round shape and the wrinkled shape of the pea seeds. Mendel then crossed a pure and the hybrid form from his F2 generation. This is known as the F2 or the test cross. There are two possible test cross. One is the homozygote dominant into hybrid, and other is the homozygote recessive into the hybrid. Homozygote dominant is equal to the capital R into hybrid is equal to the capital R, small r. So here you can see that capital R and the capital R, small r, and these are the offsprings. So their genotypic ratio is equal to capital R and capital R, small r. Phenotype, all will be round. The genotypic ratio is 1:1, and phenotypic ratio will be all alike. And here you can see that the homozygote recessive into hybrid, that is capital small r into capital R, small r. This small r and capital R, small r. Here you can see the progeny of the F2 generation, that is the test generation, and here you can see the capital R, so all will be alike. Genotypic ratio, round and wrinkled, 1:1, and phenotypic ratio is equal to 1:1. So offspring will be 50% homozygote, 50% heterozygote. Phenotypic ratio is equal to 1:1. This is known as the test cross because the offspring have same genotype as the parent. So it is known as the test cross. Now the Mendel's laws. From this of the experiments and problems, Mendel has given some laws. He has given the inheritable factors or genes are responsible for all heritable characteristics. It means that some genes which have some characteristics, and these genes are responsible for all characteristics which are we having. Our all characteristics, they depends on the parents. So these are and these characteristics are inheritable characteristics. Phenotype is based on the genotype. Gene structure, it expressed in form of the phenotype. If gene structure is capital R, then the phenotype will be round. If gene structure is small r, then the seed shape shape will be wrinkled. So genotype is responsible for the expression of the phenotype. Then each trait is based on the two genes, one from the mother and other from the father. Both genes present on through the mother, but only one gene will be come into the offspring, and from the father, from the pair of the gene, only one gene will be come into the offspring. True breeding individuals are homozygote are the same. Now he has given the first law, that is the law of dominance. In a cross of parents that are pure for constructing trait, only one form of the trait will be appear into the next generation. All the offspring will be heterozygotes and express only the dominant trait. I have told you that if the dominant gene is present, then the recessive gene will be never expressed. Capital R is present, then small r will be never expressed. So here you can see that capital R into small r, it will yield all capital R small r, and all the seeds will be round. Those small r is present, the seeds will not become wrinkled, they will become only round seeds. So if dominant gene is present, then recessive gene will be not expressed. This is known as the law of dominance. Here you can see that this is for the yellow color of the seeds, this is for the yellow, and this is for the greens. Capital Y is yellow and so small y is green. Here you can see that these three seeds in F2 generation, they will be yellow, and only one seed will be in form of the green color. So there will be the two phenotype, one is the yellow and other is the green. But if capital Y is present, then only the genes will be yellow. Then the another law given by the Mendel is the law of segregation. During the formation of the gametes, the two allele responsible for the trait separate from each other. We know that each parent, one is the father and other one is the mother, contain every pair of gene, that is the capital Y, it may be capital Y, small y. The another parent also contain the pair of the gene, but this both pair will be not come into the offspring, but only one gene from the pair will be come into the offspring. This is known as this separation of the gene is known as the law of segregation. That is allele for the trait for then recombine and the fertilization producing the genotype for the trait of the offspring. So this both gene coming from the two parents, they will be recombined and they will produce the genotype of the offspring, and they contain some characteristics, and these characteristics will be expressed in the form of the phenotype, and it depends on the dominant gene. If dominant gene is present, then only it will be expressed. So this is known as the law of segregation. Here you can see that capital T, small t, it will be separated, capital T and small t. Here the another parent, it also contain the same genotype, capital T and small t. Then this two genotype will be separated, and only one from here and one from here will be come into the offspring, and this is the practical example of the law of segregation. Now the law of independent assortment, the third law given by the Mendel. Allele for the different traits are distributed to the sex cells and they independently of the one another. It means that there are many traits into the both parents, but the trait gene for the one trait is independent for the gene for the another trait. That one trait gene of the one trait, it do not depend on the gene of the another trait. It means that all the traits are free to come into the offspring. They do not depend on each other. That is known as the law of independent. If one flower contains the flower color, that is yellow color, that is the dominant gene, and the flower shape, that is the round shape or the round shape. So color coming, the gene for the color coming into the offspring, it do not depend on the gene of the shape, that is the round shape. So this law is known as the law of independent assortment. It means that one trait do not depend on the another trait. Each and every trait, they are coming into the offspring, they are independent. They are coming independently. This is known as the law of independent assortment. Now the dihybrid cross, a breeding experiment that tracks the inheritance of the true traits. So each pair of the alleles segregate independently during the gamete formation, and formula is the 2:n. Here you can see that is 2:n. It is for the heterozygote formation. Here you can see that there are two heterozygotes. One is the capital R small r and another is the capital Y small y. So what will be the possible combination? 2:n, 2:2, because here are the two heterozygotes, 2:2. So possible combination will be 4. Here you can see the dominant gene, 1 heterozygote, 1, 2 and 3, only 3. So here you can see that 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8. So here we can find that possible 8 combination, and here we can find that possible 64 combinations. Here you can see some results, that is capital R, small r, that is 2 heterozygote. So possible combinations are 4. Here you can see that the 3 heterozygotes, so possible combinations are 8, and here you can see the 6 heterozygotes, so possible combinations are 64 gametes. Here you can see that dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross, that is the presence of the two trait. One is the shape, seed shape, and other is the seed color. Here you can see that capital R is for the round shape of the seeds, small r is the wrinkled, capital Y is for yellow, and small y is for the green. If you will combine these two parents, then you can see this type of the possible combinations: capital R, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small y. So these combinations, they depend on the formula 2 raised to n. Here you can see that 2 dihybrid, that it means that 2 raised to 2. So it means that there will be the 4 combinations. So these are the 4 combinations. If we do some crossing between these 4 combinations, then make the Punnett square and you can see the results. That is here you can see that capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Here you can see capital R, capital Y, small y. So these are the possible offsprings. So here you can see that the 4 types of the offsprings. One is the round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, and wrinkled green. Round yellow, 9 offsprings will be round yellow. Round green, 3 offspring will be. Then 3 offspring will be wrinkled yellow, and only one offspring will be wrinkled green. Here you can see that only one offspring contain all the recessive gene, small r, small y, small y. So they possess the recessive gene, not the dominant gene. So all recessive gene will be expressed and the phenotype will be wrinkled green. So the ratio will be 9 raised to 3 raised to 3 raised to 1. This is the phenotypic ratio. Here you can see that now 9 will be round yellow, then 3 will be round green, then 3 will be wrinkled yellow, and only 1 will be wrinkled green. So these are, you can see all the results in the form of the color, yellow and green color, and the round and wrinkled shape of the seeds. So matting between an individual or of unknown genotype and homozygote recessive individual, one is the example. If this is the small b, capital C, here is the small b, small c. Here you have to find out what will become. Here capital B is for the brown eyes, capital B, small b, it is also for the brown eyes. We know that because dominant gene is present, then recessive gene will not express. Small b is for the blue eyes, and capital C for curly hair. Capital C, small c, it is also for curly hair, and small c, it will be straight hair. So here which gene will become? There may be capital C and it may be small c. Here you can see that small b, capital C, and these are the possible results. There may be capital C or there may be small c. So this is the summary of the Mendel's laws. One is the dominant, law of the dominant. We know that dominant gene will be expressed and recessive gene will not be expressed. One parent contain both dominant gene, other parent contain both recessive gene, but all the offspring which are coming from these parents, they contain the phenotype of the dominant gene. Then the law of segregation, we know that if the pair of the gene is present, one gene will become from both parents into the offspring. So separation of this gene is known as the law of segregation. And independent assortment, it means that two characteristics present into both the parents, these two characteristics, they do not depend on one another. They are free to come any of the trait into the offspring. So they are free individuals. So this is known as the law of independent assortment. Then what is incomplete dominance and the codominance? F1 hybrids have an appearance somewhat in between the phenotype of the two parent varieties. It means that one parent contain the red color flower and another parent contain the white color flower, but the offspring will not be red, it will be not white, but it may be some different color. So this is known as the incomplete dominance. Here one is the example. that is the red color flower multiply by crossing between the red and the white flower. So possible combinations are there may be red color flower and smaller it may be the white color flower. So these are the possible combination. Theoretically that should be happen, that is the capital R. It produce F1 generation, but this F1 generation is not red, this F1 generation is not white, but this F1 generation is the pink color. All contain the dominant gene capital R, which is responsible for the red color. Though they are containing this dominant gene, but they all are the pink because the dominant gene are not perfectly expressed. So this is known as the incomplete dominance. It means that dominant gene are not completely expressed. This is known as the law of incomplete dominance. Here you can see the color and these are the F1 generation. All F1 generations are the pink color. If we do the hybridization between this F1 generation, that is the capital R, small r, then what will be happen? 3 will be pink and 1 is the red. Here you can see that. Then the codominance. 2 alleles are expressed in heterozygote individual. One is the blood type A, that is the AA. If blood group is A, then the combinations will be AA or it may be AO, that is blood group A. Now for blood group B, combination will be BB or BO. For blood group AB, the combination will be AB. And if the blood group is O, then the combination will be OO. So there will be no presence of A, no presence of B. That is OO, II or OO. So here you can see that heterozygote female containing blood group A and the male containing blood group B. Here you can see that BB and AO. So this is blood group A, this is blood group B. So the possible combinations are AB, then B, then AB coming from both parents and then the blood group B. So these are the two types of the progeny will be produced. One is the AB and other is the O. Now here you can see that male blood group is O blood group and female blood group is AB. Here you can see that AB and here is the O, blood group O. It is II for blood group O. Here you can see that the possible blood group of the offspring AO, BO, AO and BO. So possible blood group will be either A or B. Though the parent do not contain the either A blood group or B blood group. The one parent contain AB blood group and another parent contain O blood group. The both parent do not possess the blood group A or the blood group B. But the offspring contain the blood group, either blood group A or the blood group AB. So 50% will be blood group A and 50% will be blood group B. So this is known as the if a boy has blood group type O and his sister has the blood group type AB, what are the genotype and phenotype of these parents? So here you can see that blood group type O, that is II, and blood group type AB, that is the AB. So this is the answer. Now the sex-linked traits. Traits located on the sex chromosomes, they are known as the sex-linked traits. Sex chromosomes are X and Y, XX for the female and XY for the males. And many sex-linked traits, they are not present on the Y, they are only present on the X. Here you can see the eye color of the fruit fly that is present on this chromosome, XX chromosome, and here is the X chromosome, it is the Y chromosome, but the color of the fruit fly will be present on the X chromosome, but it will be not present into the Y chromosome because Y chromosome do not carry any of the traits. So here you can see the possible combinations. XY, that is the male. Here X chromosome contain the gene for the color of the fruit fly, that is the red color. And here the white-eyed female, red-eyed male, and this is the white-eyed female. Both contain the recessive gene that is the responsible for the white color. Here X chromosome contain the dominant gene capital R, which is responsible for the red color. Here is the small r. Small r is responsible for the white color. So red-eye, these are the possible combinations. Capital R, it is for red eye. We know that capital R, small r, that is responsible for the red eye. Small r, white eye. and capital XY it is for the male, capital X it is for the female. Now what are the results? These are the results. Small r, white colored female, capital R present on the X chromosome, that is the red colored male. Here is the capital R, small r and XX, that is red colored female. Capital R, small r, XX, that is red colored female. Small r and XY, that is the white colored male, and small r XY, that is the white colored male. So 50% red-eyed female, though the female do not contain the gene responsible for the red color. Only the male contain the gene responsible for the red color. Female was white, but then in the progeny, here you can see that all the female, 50% female are the red colored eyed female, and 50% are the white-eyed male. These are some genetic practice problems you can do by your own self. This is the breeding between the shape of the plant. Capital T is the tall plant, and small t is the short plant. Here you can see the results. All plants will be, the genotype of all plants will be capital T and small t, and all plants will be tall because all are having the dominant gene for the tall. Now the F2 generation, capital T into small t, capital T into small t, and the ratio will be 3:1. Three types of the genotype will be produced. One is the capital T, another is the capital T, small t, and the last one is the small t. The ratio will be 3:1. Phenotypic ratio, and genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. So thank you.